movie notes on Shutter Island. 2010 film, 30 January 2026 viewing. It's Shutter with an H, not Stutter, which they're slightly different. So here I, Tanis of Seattle, talk through my movie notes for my Friday, 30 January 2026 viewing of the 2010 film Shutter Island, which is a fiction film about two male detectives who go to an island to investigate this escape of a female patient who was staying in a psychiatric institution on the island and find the operations of the institution curious. So here's the disc. Here's the case. So a shutter is like a window shutter, is something that you can cover a window with. So it's kind of like if you don't want to see something, close the shutters. A stutter is a time of speech impediment where speech has difficulty coming out of a person. So it's Shutter Island, as in, like, close the windows. We don't necessarily want to see this and all these, you know, mentally ill people who are at this psychiatric institute. And so the male detectives are handsome Hollywood studs Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo. I presently and pleasantly was like watching it and was like, it's Mark Ruffalo. I remember DiCaprio and I was like, DiCaprio and Ruffalo. And I did see this one earlier in life, and so it was fun to return to it. It was one that I don't have any training in psychology. I have since viewing this, I think initially at least, I spent over 6.00 years in psychiatry, so I'm like, this is like, I've been through this in some form, like a psychiatry, as in speaking to a psychiatrist and having a medicine diagnosed and having to take that as part of my treatment, which is not quite institution level, but it is like there's an authority and there's governance and that kind of thing for medication. So it was fun to return to. Actually, was it far less scary now? I didn't find it scary in the first place. It's not an area that I think has particularly I've found horrifying. I think this is a movie that kind of takes it to the horror, like of let's take these detectives and kind of like they're investigating the escape of this female patient. And then it's kind of like, they have them put on like the patient's attire and stuff. And so it's like, it's blurring those lines between them and the patients. And then, but are they patients? It's about uprooting everything they know. Was that what it was like for me? It's an interesting thing. So I have ADHD. That's why I was in psychiatry, and mild severe. And I'd say the brain is only one organ in the body. And I think some of the stuff that comes with ADHD I was aware of, and so there was that. I think did it kind of upend my understanding of the world? At one of the places where I received psychiatry, I had stuff, and I say perhaps in the sense of like as part of my in-person interactions, I might get asked about if there was anything going on in my life that was stressful, and so I might bring something up, and it was very helpful in navigating like academia culture, higher education culture might be a way of phrasing it, in the sense of like they're like them being like, well, that's not really okay, and me being like, what? So like there was a like I guess perhaps in talking through stuff that I was going through at work, like with supervisors, learning that like other people could be having mental difficulties or doing things that weren't right. So it was kind of like upending of my perception of the world in a little bit of a different way than like this movie. Although the main character does kind of question like, why is this island operating like this? And so it was kind of like I went through like the opposite of this movie, I suppose, where like stuff was revealed that it's not okay, whereas this guy was like searching for this is not okay. I got the answer to this movie in real life. So like, I I left psychiatry. It was optional treatment anyway, and medication and stuff, and it was not like I hated it. It was very worthwhile. But did I ever run the, like, it was like, would people call me crazy? I'm like, well, you know, I'm kind of an oddball. So, like, an example of that might be I went and saw No Other Choice, a Korean movie this past week at the movie theater. And I went and I did no food or beverage, or no food or beverage, like, purchased. I got a glass of water, but I didn't do food. And I went to a grocery outlet and I ate a peach Chobani Greek yogurt before I went over to the movie theater. I also got Antarctic krill meat, and I've only eaten fish and squid on this channel, calamari, and so it was like, it'd be fun to try something different. Krill, something like whales eat, and I was like, all on its own, somebody might like take that purchase and be like, what? Why did you purchase krill meat before going to a movie theater? And I'm like, well, I purchased krill meat because I haven't had krill meat before. I'm thinking of doing a Sacred Saturday tomorrow with a computer game about a wooden ship in Iceland. Like a, you know, centuries old, just kind of like in the spirit of how krill is caught. And I was, and so I was like, well, I could frame it as anything other than krill meat would be inappropriate when this is an option. All right, so it's kind of a things taken drastically out of context can be used to frame a person as crazy when in reality, like, the person being like, why the fuck would you do that, right, is the person who's crazy. Okay? There's logic. So there we go. I think a part of it is perhaps I'm a logical enough person that I'm kind of like, and if taken and put into proper context, a lot of the things that are like, they're crazy is like, well, they're not. You're just being a douchebag. So there we go. Those are my movie notes on Shutter. Oh, what do I give it? 5 out of 5. Still, I gave 5 out of 5 back then. It was a good one. So my movie notes on Shutter Island 2010 film, 30 January 2026.